Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to New Smyrna Speedway here in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Well, sort of. We're doing it virtually. Live here on VidaneTV for week number 4 of the New Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing. Tonight we return to the street stocks, the second time this season that we are running the street stocks. We ran them back in week 1, and we are here with them again for week number 4. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kyle Young. Glad to be here to bring you guys coverage for the first time this season, moving over from race control to the broadcasting booth. Staying in the broadcasting booth, of course, is Paul Showtime Strickland Jr. on the camera control buttons, and Ryan Stevens, the voice of the actual New Smyrna Speedway. Ryan, good evening. Glad to be up here with you.
Kyle, good to work with you, buddy. I think we're going to be in for a great show. I'm excited. Week number 4 of this already, and switching back to the street stocks, and I think that means the rest of the field might have a chance here tonight, Kyle, because Ryan Matthews has put a hurting on these guys the last 2 weeks. He did not have as much success in the street stocks in week number 1. Anthony Sergi was the winner that night, so we'll have to see if Ryan Matthews gets his first street stock win or if someone else breaks into that win column here tonight. So y'all have to stay tuned. Qualifying going on right now. Then we'll move into our heat races, our consolation races, and the feature here tonight. And to all of you watching on our Facebook page, on the New Smyrna Facebook page, or on the YouTube, if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to VidaneTV so you can keep up with all the great racing action they've been bringing to you here during this quarantine.
So as mentioned, qualifying currently going on right now. We are 2 minutes in, still 3 minutes left to go. At the moment, Cody Brinson is on top of the board with a 19.585. Same format as we've been doing throughout the first 3 weeks. The top 10 drivers from qualifying will go straight to tonight's 100-lap feature event. And then we will go into heat races. We are scheduled to have 4 of them. We don't know exactly how many we'll have until we get into those heat races and get everything lined up and organized. But we'll have up to 4 heat races where we will qualify 3 drivers from each, and then we'll have a handful of last chance qualifiers before we send it off to our feature event. The top 8 qualifiers in tonight's qualifying session will be inverted for the feature. So the top 10 qualify, top 8 invert, and then everybody else will have to race their way in. We've seen a lot of exciting stuff thus far with this New Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing. I'm feeling a lot more confident this time around as we're starting to get into our second swing of cars, Ryan. This is the second time where we're running the street stock. I believe that there was some talk last week that we could be potentially changing things up with the Tour Modified from the last time that we ran it. But at least we're getting back into something familiar for these guys with the street stock. It's been a few weeks, yes, but now we're starting to get into a rhythm. We're getting into the pattern, the rotation of how this series is going to work. Drivers are getting more familiar with each other, with themselves, with the racetrack. So one would only expect that the racing will continue to improve and get more and more exciting the further along we go.
Yeah, that's a great point. Week number 2 here for the street stocks, and like I said, getting into that second round of these cars. Maybe next week we're throwing them a curveball. We're not sure yet what we're going to be running, but it won't be the Tour Mods from what I understand. So should be in for a good show. If you were with us Monday, last race I called with the truck series that we did, that was a good show here at New Smyrna. So, maybe the trucks is what we need to bring back in week number 5. But again, they're going to be chasing Ryan Matthews, and guess whose name is atop the scoring pylon here with about a minute left in qualifying. That's right, it's Ryan Matthews, your point leader.
Indeed it is. He goes to the top of the charts, less than a minute left to go at 19.469. How about this in position number 2? David Costello. He has had a rough go of it here in the early weeks with this series. I don't believe he's qualified for any of the 3 feature events thus far, and he throws himself up second quick on the board. So not only is he looking to make the show, he's looking to make it with ease, going straight to the feature event. So awesome for him. Eric Purcell currently sitting in position number 3. Devin McLeod is in 4th. And then Anthony Sergi rounds out your top 5. He's actually tied with Bray Holmes, both of them running a 19.580.
The best thing that you can do is qualify in that top 10 so you can lock yourself directly in. You don't have to go through those heat races, those consolation races. Kyle, you've been working on the admin side of things the last couple of weeks, and we've seen a lot of crazy racing in those heats and consies. So the best way to avoid that qualify yourself in the top 10 as we are getting ready now for the first heat race here tonight.
Indeed, we are. Qualifying has wrapped up. We are moving on to our heat races now. We'll get the lineup here in just a moment. But before we do, we'd like to remind you all that you can check out all of the points, standings, and any information regarding this series on Vidane.net. Vidane.net, the website for us here at VidaneTV, our point standings, all information regarding this new Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing on that website. So here we go. We will get things rocking and rolling with our first heat race of the night. Looks like we have 9 cars lined up. We will transfer the top 3, and this is how we will line them up. On the pole in car number 7 will be Kyle Ely. Kyle is a familiar competitor with us here at VidaneTV, competing in the East Coast Winter League. He has joined us tonight for the first time this season, and at his outside will be the number 43 machine of Daniel Dye. Starting on the inside of row number 2 is Jeffrey Gilbo in the 92 machine, and Colt Cecil in the number 19 will be his dancing partner in position 4. David Love will round out the top 5 in his number 70 car, and Corey Katina in the 03 will start in position number 6. Robert Pierce will be driving the number 2 tonight. He will start in position 7, and Kyle Morningstar will round out row number 4 in his 098 machine in position number 8. And starting scratch on the field in a row all by himself in car number 55, starting in 9th will be James Snyder. That is how we will line them up here for heat race number 1, just about 2/3 of a lap away from going green the first time here tonight.
Going to be an exciting night. A lot of the New Smyrna Speedway regulars in this. Good news from the New Smyrna Speedway this weekend, this Saturday, we will have open practice as we gear up to get back to racing action. Saturday, May 30th, we'll be talking about that throughout the show. We have some great sponsors to plug throughout the night as well. But folks, it is time to go racing heat number 1 for week number 4. The New Smyrna Speedway E-World Series is underway. It's Ely and Dye going side by side into turn number 1. Daniel Dye, the 43, our Pro Late Model champion from a year ago at the real New Smyrna Speedway, into the fence on the back straightaway. That'll give the advantage to the 7 of Ely as they go into 3.
Dye tries to pull up next to him even further through the center of 3 and 4. He will lose that battle, and Kyle Ely will take sole possession of the race lead on the first lap. It is Daniel Dye in position 2, and then we have Jeffrey Gilbo and Colt Cecil side by side coming off at turn number 2. Cecil still hanging tough on the right rear corner panel, but Gilbo's got the spot for the majority of it. He'll drive down into 3 and 4 and will clear in the center. Cecil going to look for a crossover coming off of 4, but fails.
Colt Cecil, the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series regular, going back to the bottom here to go to work on Gilbo's machine. Gilbo going to hold him off for now. Top 2 trying to separate from the rest of the field. Everybody getting single file. A nice clean start here tonight. That's what we like to see. Hoping to bring you a lot of good green flag action tonight here at the virtual New Smyrna Speedway.
The battle for the transfer position still continuing on. Colt Cecil knows that he needs that spot from Jeffrey Gilbo to move on. 3.5 laps in the books. He's got plenty of space out the rear end. He can afford to pressure Jeffrey Gilbo for right now, but here comes Daniel Dye starting to drop back just a little bit on these guys. Kyle Ely starting to put a bit of a gap between himself and Dye, so we got a nice 3-car battle now going on for positions 2 through 4. Lots of space again behind Colt Cecil. Those guys running fifth on back, gonna have to turn it up here just a little bit if they want to contend for a transfer spot.
All right, Gilbo getting racy with Daniel Dye now. Dye in that 43 trying to hold off Gilbo's machine. Gilbo keeps taking a peek to the inside. Daniel Dye kind of running that middle groove here at New Smyrna. In real life, that's the preferred groove, and seems to be working for Daniel here tonight. Might have kissed the wall again there off turn number 2. But Daniel Dye right now holds on to second as Kyle Ely in the 7 continues to show the way.
6 laps are in, 6 laps remain. We are halfway home, and it does appear that the number 70 machine of David Love is starting to reel those guys in front of him. He's starting to come up into my frame a little bit. We'll check the gaps at the line. Colt Cecil now putting big time pressure on Jeffrey Gilbo. May have given him a little bit of a tap there in the center of 3 and 4. Tried to get to the inside coming off of turn 4, but was not able to do so. He falls in line for right now, but he's looking lower. He's giving himself a run coming off of turn 2. Nothing to take to it just yet into 3, but he is definitely pressuring Jeffrey Gilbo for 3rd.
It's important to get as many spots as you can. Little slip there from Gilbo. Here comes Cecil to the bottom. Cecil trying to get himself solidly qualified into tonight's show. And Kyle, you might have the information. Do you know how many cars were taken out of this first heat race tonight?
We will take 3. So this is the battle for the transfer position. Colt Cecil trying to move his way in and bump Jeffrey Gilbo out. They will come to the line. 3 laps to go. Gilbo loses the spot at the line, but Cecil slid a little bit coming off of turn 4, so he's able to pull even with him going into turn number 1. Cecil slides again, and now here comes Gilbo ramping off the top side, bounces off the outside wall. He's got the advantage going into 3.
Boy, Gilbo high, wide, and handsome that outside groove. Slip forward, he fights back in that high side. Gilbo trying to hit all aboard third spot, final transfer spot of the event.
And while these two are battling, it is allowing David Love to reel in, but how much more will he be able to catch him? Coming off in turn 4 this time, the white flag will fly. Kyle Ely takes the white flag. One more lap around. The top 2 have their positions settled, but the battle for the final transfer is not done. Gilbo all over the back bumper of Colt Cecil coming off in turn number 2. Will he be able to make a move coming into
Open here. Along with Daniel Dye and Kyle Ely, exciting, great battle for the final transfer spot. Overall, a great way tonight.
Awesome way to start off the night here. A fantastic battle for that final transfer position. And it goes to the number 19 of Colt Cecil, holding off the charge from Jeffrey Gilbo. So Kyle Ely, Daniel Dye, and Colt Cecil will move on to tonight's feature event that will send David Love, Jeffrey Gilbo, Corey Catino, Robert Pierce, Kyle Morningstar, and James Snyder to one of our consolation events. Heat race number 2, getting themselves lined up on the exit of pit road. Again, we will go 12 laps and take the top 3 to the feature.
All right, so 3 again to qualify here in heat number 2. And if you don't qualify here through the heat races, you have to go to that consolation race. There might be 1, might be 2. We'll have to wait and see. But you don't want to be there because that's where things tend to get crazy. And we'll let Kyle bring us our starting lineup here.
On the pole, we will have the number 9 machine of Blake Klauser, and to his outside will be the 08 machine of Nicholas Noggle. On the inside of row number 2, the 99 car of Rex Kenyon will line up in 3rd, and Tyler Sontag in the 91 will be 4th. TJ Chambers in the 15 will round out your top 5, with Hunter Lovelady in the 68 car starting in position number 6. 4th and final row, we will have the 25 of Patrick Thomas in 7th, and Joshua Kunstbeck in the number 69 car starting in position number 8. Looks like we only have 6 cars out there. I'm not exactly sure the 2 that are missing. Looks like the back row is actually missing as we get ready to take the green.
Yeah, it looks like Tanner Thomas driving for Patrick Thomas not going to make it. He let me know he was having modem problems a little bit earlier tonight, so looks like he's not going to make it. Tough break for the youngster there, Tanner Thomas. But Blake Klauser in the 9 machine gets the jump going down into turn number 1 ahead of Rex Kenyon now. Nicholas Noggle, the driver out of Canada, slates into that 3rd position. Tyler Sontag flirts with the wall off turn number 2 that time. Looks like we're going to make it clean and green through lap number 1.
Another great start. Blake Klauser absolutely running away from these guys, letting them all fight behind him. The battle is for position number 3. That's the 15 of TJ Chambers, trying to take it away from Nicholas Noggle. Noggle, although he is a Canadian resident, has competed on this racetrack in real-life races before. He gets the advantage coming off of turn number 4. There is TJ Chambers slides coming off the turn. So now Noggle will take sole possession of 3rd. And look out, the 99. Noggle hits him in the left front. He gets turned up the racetrack and is upside down in turn number 2. Caution flag will fly for the first time tonight.
Wild flip there, Kyle, from the 99 Canyon, who looked like he lost it all by himself. So tough break there. You hate to see that. But we are under caution here for the first time tonight. You mentioned Nicholas Noggle. I think he got a piece of that, too, trying to avoid the winner during the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing back here in February.
Taking a look at the replay right now, the 99 Rex Canyon, like you said, on the straightaway here and heading on down into turn number 1. I believe he was the leader at this point, 2nd place, check that, and heads on down into turn number 1. And like you said, Ryan, it looks like he just loses the back end of that race car, sends himself on around. You see he's kicking up a bunch of black smoke onto the back of the tires. Gets a little bit of a tap there from Nicholas Noggle in the 08 car. Then he gets a bigger tap from the 91 in Sontag. And man, oh man, Tyler Sontag, the fan favorite here in this series, just having the damnedest time trying to get into one of these races. And a lot of bad luck surrounds him. But you know what? Right now we're seeing him scored in P5, so that's pretty good. But crazy flip here from Rex Canyon. Lots of damage in the front of that car. Looks like on the left front as well. But you can see he's able to grab a gear and keep it rolling. So not the end of the night for him. We still have the Conti races coming up after all these the 4 heat races. So it should be a good show. We'll see what he can get later on this evening.
Yeah, hopefully Tyler can rebound. Tyler, one of Florida's photographers, and he had his own cheering section at Citrus Speedway last weekend. So Tyler does have a lot of fans, and hopefully he can get up into the top 3 tonight. If not, he'll have a chance at the consolation race a little bit later tonight.
So we continue to pace under caution, not quite ready to go green flag. It is still Blake Clauser out in front of the field. With that spin, Nicholas Noggle will move himself up into position number 2. TJ Chambers holds on to position 3, the third and final transfer spot. And then Hunter Lovelady will be in position 4. Tyler Sontag has just rejoined the back of the field. He will line up 5th. And then at Rex Kenyon, still on pit road, he is 2 laps down, so he will definitely be going to one of our consolation races later on tonight. Unfortunate circumstance there, but a great time here to give you guys all the fun and the love from our great sponsors. Edgewater Screen, of course, sponsoring this new Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing. Glad to have them along, as well as AWS Roofing. Always appreciative of their help. Glad to bring some awesome partners along with us here for this new Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing.
Absolutely. We couldn't do it without our great sponsors. And we'd like to thank some of the new Smyrna Speedway sponsors as well. Skip Boots. They've been with us for a long time. They have some great sales going on at skipsboots.com. And also we'd like to thank Persimmon Hollow, one of our new brewery sponsors. They're still open, at least for takeout. We've got to kind of update to see if they're actually open for the bar yet or not. But make sure you check out Persimmon Hollow. They got some great brews on tap. Kyle, it looks like we're getting ready to go back green flag racing with 5 to go.
Indeed we are. It will be with 4 laps to go, actually, and Blake Clauser will take the outside line for that restart. A nice clean restart for the entire field. Clauser will be able to clear going down into turn number 1. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. We're now 3 wide for position 2. Back to 2. TJ Chambers is going to be the beneficiary of that. He will move under Nicholas Noggle and take over position number 2 heading into turn 3.
Boy, Chambers gets the break there as Lovelady and Noggle continue to battle. Remember, 3, that's it. That's all that transferred to the main event. So that's why we're seeing this fierce battle from second on back. Little slip, little slide from Chambers. Here comes Lovelady in the tide ride down on the inside. Lovelady, the 68 now, going to move up into the second spot. And here comes the fan favorite, Tyler Sontag, now getting racy, trying to get it up into that third spot. Noggle into the fence on the front straightaway. Action all over the place.
These 4 drivers are absolutely brawling for these final 2 transfer positions as Blake Clauser runs away. A lap and a half to go. Clauser leads it. Lovelady is second, and Chambers holding on to that final spot. Here comes Tyler Sontag. A nice drive through the center of 3 and 4. He looks to the inside of TJ Chambers, coming to the white flag. He wants to make the...
Yes, he does. And now he's got Tyler Sontag right to his back bumper. Sontag getting racy as Blake Clauser leading the field here on this final lap. Looks like Clauser's going to make it. And Connor Bernani comes off turn number 4. Heat number 2 going to go to Blake Clauser as he slides across the finish line. That is going to be Lovelady. And I believe Chambers was able to hang on to that final spot.
Indeed he was. That will send Tyler Sontag to the consolation race along with Nicholas Noggle and Rex Kenyon. Unfortunately, Tanner Thomas and Joshua Kunzbeck were not able to get themselves onto the racetrack for that heat race, so they will also tag into one of our LCQ races later on this evening, and hopefully we'll be able to see those guys out. So here we go. We're going to line ourselves up for heat race number 3. Again, 12 laps, 3 cars will qualify, and this will be our final heat race of the evening. We will not be needing to go to a 4th. Here we go. Right, lining them up. They are on the racetrack now. Your pole sitter for this third heat race is going to be the 07 machine of Dylan Martin. His dancing partner to the outside will be the 86 car of Jason Miller. Nick Snyder in the 16 will line up in third, and Philip Ellis's 029 will be in position number 4. The 5th place starter is the 13 machine of David Leininger, and the 6th place starter in the 64 is Arthur Hendren. 4th and final row for heat race number 3, we have the 24 car of Dalton Smith and the 35 of Eugene Tuminello. So again, 12 laps, 3 will transfer, and then we will move on to our last chance qualifiers, which will be 20 laps in length, and we should be taking another 3 out of those as well.
It looks like we've had a couple more cars that have problems in practice tonight that aren't going to be able to make the call. So looks like 5 cars for 3 spots with Dylan Martin on the pole. Alongside of him is Miller. Then you got Snyder. And we've seen some good racing so far here, Kyle. And heat number 3 is now green. We'll see if we can keep that up here, as it's going to be the 86 of Miller getting the jump into turn number 1.
Jason Miller will clear pole sitter Dylan Martin for the lead. He leaves Martin to fight side by side for position number 2 with Philip Ellis. Ellis gets a great run up top. He's going to challenge for the race lead, but he slides in the center. Martin will come back underneath and will take over position 2 at the line. Ellis is still fighting going into turn number 1, but he's not giving up. He wants to make that top side.
And the top side not working for him right now. Here comes that Canon Filters machine. The 16 down to the bottom, trying to take third away. Top 4 gaggled together off turn number 4 as they come to the line. A little bit of contact between the 51 and the 16 that time. Everybody keeping it straight, playing nice so far here tonight. Battle for the lead heating up. Here comes the 07 of Dylan Martin. Looking to the outside, trying to take that lead back away from the 86.
Dylan Martin saw what Philip Ellis was trying. He's deciding to give it an opportunity, seeing that he has a 1-spot buffer on the transfer spot, and he's starting to make some progress. He is even up with Jason Miller going into turn number 1, loses a little bit in the center, but look at the run he gets coming off of turn number 2. He nearly clears going into turn number 3, and now he does. Will he decide to drop down? It looks like he's going to try to stick to that top side, but Dylan Martin, using it for the first time, regains the race lead.
Nice pass there for Dylan Martin. It's like he knows how to run this track. Oh, they're 3 wide for second behind him. 3 wide off turn number 2. We'll see if they can make it out of there. Martin does not care what's going on behind him, and they have wrecked back there. The 68 has gone around, and the caution is going to come out. Or I'm sorry, that's the 86 of Miller that's gone around. Caution out here, just shy of halfway.
A tight 3-wide battle, ran out of room. Looks like the 86 and the 16 made a little bit of contact, and that spun the 86 down right in front of Philip Ellis. Doesn't look like Ellis collected too much damage on the front end of his machine, but we'll send it on up to Paul to get a better look at that and see exactly what happened.
Yeah, taking a look at the AWS Roofing instant replay right now. The 86 up high, 51 down low, 16. The meat and the 2 sandwiches. Well, just 1 sandwich there. You see the 51 and the 86 look like they go down and up at the same time. They lock noses, and the 16 gets on around. So a little bit of nose damage for the 51, a little bit of side door damage there for the 86. So tough break for those guys. Doesn't look like anything prohibitive. We've got a couple of races left, a couple of laps rather, left in this heat race, and we've also got the Conti race coming up here as a last chance qualifier. So don't necessarily need to put that 86 car in the shed just yet. And speaking of sheds, we do want to give a quick shout out to Shed Life Shed Movers. They're a professional full-service shed moving service located in Central Florida, and they're serving all of the entire state of Florida. Shed Life Shed Movers has been exceeding customers' shed moving expectations with outstanding customer service for over 12 years. So even if you did have to put that car in the shed, if it was in the wrong spot, you can call up Shed Movers, and they'd be able to hook him up, get all of his shed moving needs taken care of.
One way or another, they'll get him taken care of. And we'd also like to thank Sunshine State Racing, along with O'Reilly Auto Parts, and the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series, some of our other sponsors that have come on board to support this series, and we appreciate each and every one of them for supporting what we do here on VidaneTV, so we can bring this entertainment right to your living room.
Indeed, we do. Glad to have so many amazing partners along here with us. Makes it more enjoyable for us, for them, and for everybody involved. Lights are off on top of the iRacing official pace truck. We will go green this time by. We will have 3 laps before we throw the final heat race checkered flag. Dylan Martin, your race leader, has elected to take the outside once again. Nick Snyder is in second, and David Leininger, the beneficiary of that incident there, moves up to P3, but Jason Miller and Philip Ellis are right there with him. This should be a fun finish to this final heat race. Green flag is back out.
And it's Martin on the outside who's going to get the jump here on Snyder as they go into turn number 1, quickly down to single file. And look at that, the 86 right back into the top 3, into that qualified spot. Remember, just the top 3 going to move on here tonight. Everybody else go to that last chance qualifier. Now the 51 getting racy, as that 86 trying to hang on to the final spot. Miller has it. The 51 wants it.
Great recovery for Jason Miller off the spin. He moves into position number 3. Will Philip Ellis be able to challenge him here in this final lap and a half? Good amount of space between the top 2. Looks like they're going to have a comfortable fight, or a comfortable final lap to make it in. The battle's going to be for P3 once again. Look at Ellis peek to the bottom. He's got it underneath of Jason Miller. Slides up, maybe makes a little contact. It's a drag race coming off of turn number 2. Half a lap to go. Who will transfer?
Oh, this is it. Coming to the checkers. Who's it going to be? 51 down. Oh, here comes the 13. They all wreck. Who's going to get to the line first? It's going to be the 51. Wow, what a finish. Boy, I thought the 13 was going to sneak in there. The 13 of David Leininger there. I thought he was going to steal that final spot, but it's going to go to Ellis there. What a finish to that race. Congratulations to Dylan Martin, who wins heat number 3. Wild action already tonight, and we're just getting fired up.
We've seen a lot of awesome battles for the transfer positions tonight, and we've got 2 more to go. No more heat racing, but now it is time for our last chance qualifiers. We will have 2 of them. We split the remaining drivers unqualified for tonight's feature in half. We will race them for 20 laps, and we will take another 3 to tonight's 100-lap feature event. So we will have 8 cars to start this first one. Your pole sitter for it will be the number 70 machine of David Love. He will roll off with David Leininger, who we just saw barely miss out on a transfer spot in that previous heat race, in position number 2. Nicholas Noggle will line up in position 3 in his 08 machine, and Corey Katina in the 03 will line up in 4th. Unfortunately, it looks like these are the only 4 that are on the track right now. Arthur Hendren, Tanner Thomas, Kyle Morningstar, and Eugene Tominello are also scheduled to be in this LCQ, but we only see 4 cars out there. We haven't seen the bottom 3 at all throughout any portion of the night, so unfortunate that they weren't able to get on track at all. Not too sure what happened with Corey Katina, who did compete in his heat race, but he's not on the track, or actually he is on the racetrack. I apologize. He is on the racetrack. So we're only missing, okay. I'm getting myself all screwed up. The bottom 4 cars were the ones that we haven't seen at all. I misread that there. So the bottom 4 are unable to show up at all tonight. So we'll have 4 cars fighting for the top 3 positions here as the pace truck gets ready to pull off.
That's all right, Kyle. iRacing likes to throw us some curveballs, and we've had a lot of attrition after practice, which sometimes happens on the real track. So only one of these guys is going to miss out here tonight. So we'll see if they behave or not. It's going to be the 13 who just missed out in that last race, who's going to get the jump now on the 70 of Love. And we got a spinner. It's Nicholas Noggle. Nicholas Noggle, oh, he might have had some help there. The 03 also involved. This is going to be a tough break for those 2, but a good break for the 13 and the 70, who have scooted away, putting some space between themselves and that 3rd spot.
Noggle definitely did have some help from Corey Katina. Corey drove it in just a little too hot, made contact with the left rear corner panel. Neither car went fully around. The caution flag stays in its holster. They kind of did a very wide dirt track slide and got their machines back underneath of him. So we stay green here as lap number 2 goes in the books. So that'll be the battle that we watch for the transfer spot. David Leininger and David Love have been able to check out with those top 2 spots. So those guys should, at this point, as long as the caution flag doesn't come out, kind of use this as a test session. They have no pressure out the back. As long as the caution flag stays in its place, they're going to move on.
Hey, if I'm Leininger or Love, I'm just going to stay right there. I'll ride 1st and 2nd because I've got to big gap on the rest of the field. There you see Nicholas Noggle in the 08, who is in third. Top three is all that matters. Corey Katina in the 03. Remember those two involved in that incident earlier, which, as we noted, did not bring out that yellow flag. So the field kind of spread out here. Gives us a chance to thank Edgewater Screen, our title sponsor of this new Smyrna Speedway eWorld Series. Week number 4. Next week, we got a little bit of a surprise for you. Going to bring in a different series than what we've run in the first 4 weeks, so stay tuned for that. I don't even know what it is, so that should be fun to tune in next week. Again, first of 2 last chance qualifiers, if you're just joining us tonight, feature coming up here in just a little bit. This race kind of getting spread out. Nicholas Noggle, we ride with him here. He is our final qualifier as the top 3 move to the main. The 4th place finisher, well, they got to load it up and go home. They can go watch Darlington on the TV.
At the moment, it appears that Corey Katina is losing some ground on Nicholas Noggle for that final transfer spot. Noggle being able to put a little gap in between himself and the 03 car. Hasn't really, let's see what it is at the line here. Well, yeah, he chopped off about a 1/10.5 on that gap up to the top 2, but still being 4 seconds back, it's going to be very difficult for him to reel those guys in.
Kyle and Ryan, it's Wes here in the booth. Are you guys having some fun?
Wes, are you having fun? You're in the trenches tonight. You're having to deal with all the craziness going on. Anybody angry tonight so far?
Not yet. We don't have too many angry drivers. Just want to kind of explain why this turned into a little 4-lap race. There was supposed to be about 5 or 6 other guys in this event here tonight that unfortunately fell through or fell out of the server and have a connection issue. So that is why we're stuck with a 4-lap C main or a 4-car C main, and I think we're gonna have a 4 or 5-car B main as well, just to kind of clear that up for the viewers. Why we're having a kind of a little dash race here.
Yeah, well, I just got a message from Patrick Thomas letting us know that their internet has gone out. They were in the server earlier, and their internet went out. Their modem is gone kaput. So that's the explanation for at least one of those guys. So a little bit shorter here on the BC mains, whatever you want to call them tonight. But nonetheless, we're still going to transfer a good handful of guys to the main event and have a great 100-lap feature. And who knows? We've seen great 4-car races at the real New Smyrna Speedway before. This one ain't over yet.
You know, Jarrett said to me, he goes, "Man, how do you make a 4-car race exciting?" And I said, there's probably a video on a Speedway video on YouTube where me and Ryan are calling a 4-car race, trying to make it exciting. So you guys keep on having some fun here in the booth. I'll chime in from time to time if I need to explain anything. You guys are doing awesome.
Hey, good luck in there tonight, and don't let them get to you. But we appreciate all your hard work. And it's funny. I had one of our racers stop by my house this afternoon to have to help me out with something, and we were talking about that exact 4-car race that Wes alluded to. So. It only takes a couple cars to have a race, Kyle.
You're absolutely right. And those couple cars would be our top 2 of David Leininger and David Love. David Love, he's battling Leininger for the race lead. The 2 of these guys, they know that they're in the show. Their gap back to Nicholas Noggle is starting to shrink a little bit. That's down to 2.5 seconds the last time by. 6 laps to go, and it's now 2.3. So maybe Noggle actually could catch these guys if he continues at the pace that he's at. It'll be a tough challenge to do, but he may actually be able to get to these guys. I'd like to remind all the viewers out there that even though those drivers that we just mentioned are having those connection issues, since they did show up tonight, they will still receive 10 points to the championship standings. That's obviously not ideal. It's not what they want to have for their night total, but they at least get something instead of a big old goose egg for not being able to compete.
Yeah, and 10 points could be the difference between 4th, 5th, 6th, and points. So I'm sure we'll see many of those guys back here next week. And there's a lot of other things starting to fire back up, things going on in the real world. So maybe a couple of them had some things come up. And we got a battle for the lead here. See, I told you, folks, only a handful of cars. Doesn't mean we don't have a race. Here comes Love now to the inside. Love in the 70. Your new leader as they come to the stripe with 3 laps to go. David Love now showing the way. Again, top 3 qualifies. We're going to ride along with our 2nd place runner as Love starts to scoot away, coming to popsicle sticks this time by.
Usually when you talk about fights and battles, you're talking about David versus Goliath. Well, this battle has a David and a David, and soon to be a Nicholas. How about that? Nicholas Noggle is right up to these guys. He may actually be able to challenge for position number 2 here within this final lap and a half. An absolutely incredible drive for Nicholas Noggle. That's not going to be what Corey Catino wants to see, as he is more than likely going to go home. But coming off of turn number 4, the white flag will fly for David Love one more time, and we'll see if Nick Noggle can reel in that 13 car and potentially steal the second place.
The 13 showing some smoke off those tires. Katina needs Noggle to catch the 13. Maybe you get into him a little bit, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. David Love through turns 3 and 4. Nice battle and a nice win. Love is going to qualify, as is Leininger in the 13 and Nicholas Noggle in the 08. Corey Katina will be the odd man out, and then those other guys who were not able to make it in to the server after practice, they are all going home as well. So the next 3 drivers have marked their spot in the starting lineup for tonight's 100-lap feature. And we have our next consolation race coming up. And Kyle, it looks like our Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag, will be on the pole.
Indeed he will, Ryan. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to transfer, but the benefit of his finishing position from his heat race, missing it by just 1 spot, is he has the pole position for his last chance qualifier. He will have the number 92 car of Jeffrey Gilbo to his outside in position number 2. The inside of row number 2 will have the 86 of Jason Miller. He barely missed out, a wild finish in his heat race. And Rex Kenyon, the wild crash in heat race number 2, will line up in position number 4. Car number 2 of Robert Pierce will be in position number 5 for the second last chance race. He is the last car that is on the racetrack. Some of our other competitors that are being bit with connection issues tonight: Dalton Smith, who was supposed to line up in 6th, Joshua Kunstbeck in the 69 was supposed to be 7th, and James Snyder was going to line up scratch on the field in 8th. So those 3 drivers not going to be able to make the call. Unfortunately, they'll have to take the 10-point provisional for missing out. So we'll have 5 cars battling this next 20 laps for these final 3 positions. After this, we'll have a warm-up session, and then we will go feature racing. Final qualifying race of the evening, about ready to go green.
So, hey, it's gotten better. We've tagged on an extra car to this field. So 5 cars, 3 spots, 20 laps to settle it. So plenty of time to get some racing in. Here we go. Tyler Sontag, the 91. Going to lead us to green. Outside him, Jeffrey Gilbo. And it's Tyler Sontag, who had a great run going in the heat before getting caught up in somebody else's mess. Sontag would love to make the top 3, because I think he's been 1 spot out of a transfer spot for about the last 3 weeks. So Sontag in that beautiful number 91, old Speedy, up at the head of the field. But here comes Gilbo looking to the high side for the lead as they go into 1.
It's been very clear that the top side is starting to come in, and Gilbo wants to be the next person to use it to his advantage. He struggled there coming off of turn number 2 and falls back in line behind the 91 of Sontag, but it wouldn't be surprising to see him try it again, and that outside line is only going to continue to get better as the night goes on and more rubber gets put up there. Single file, not well. As soon as I say that, Gilbo now is going to do the exact opposite of my prediction, go to the bottom. He's got the advantage coming off of turn number 2, but the top side starting to reel in just a little bit for Tyler Sontag. They're dead even going into 3.
Yeah, maybe Tyler Sontag's got the broadcast on the TV, and he heard, oh, the top side's starting to come in. Let me try that. Either that or he overdrove the corner. So now he's got Jeffrey Gilbo down to his inside. Sontag and Gilbo side by side. But again, we talked about it earlier in the last race, Kyle. If you're running in the top 2, don't race it so hard. You're in the show. One mistake could send you home at this point, as Gilbo and Sontag still side by side. Advantage, half a car length to Gilbo that time by.
Gilbo and Sontag don't have the benefit that our 2 Davids did in the previous race. They have the 3rd and 4th place cars of Jason Miller and Rex Kenyon right behind them. So this is a 4-car battle for these final 3 transfer spots. Rex Kenyon just moved his way around Jason Miller for that spot, did so on the top, might I add. So moved the 99 of Rex Kenyon into that final transfer spot, and now Jason Miller is the one on the outside looking in, as well as Robert Pierce, who has unfortunately fallen off of this 4-car pack, starting to struggle here early on. We're 5 laps in, coming to complete lap number 6. It is Jeffrey Gilbo leading Tyler Sontag, Rex Kenyon in 3rd, Jason Miller 4th, Robert Pierce rounding out the top 5. Lap 6 in the books. We have 14 to go.
Boy, that 86 there took a peek to the inside of Kenyon coming off turn number 4, but right now they remain snoot to boot the top 4 in a line. Tyler Sontag trying to ride behind Jeffrey Gilbo. Oh boy, That 86 getting loose off turn number 4, trying to make something happen because he knows that right now he does not have a qualified spot for the main event. But again, top 3 going to make it in. Rex Kenyon holding on to that final transfer spot in the 99. Jeffrey Gilbo still your leader. Tyler Sontag, if he can just stay right there, he'll finally make one of these things.
You think everything is looking nice and smooth and calm and easy going, but we'll remind you that Rex Kenyon is in this last chance qualifier from a small mistake that he made himself, getting sideways in the center of 1 and 2. So even though you're in a qualifying spot, you've got some space around you, you need to make sure to hit your marks and not make any mistakes, because one small slip up can, well, pun intended, turn your race upside down, as now Rex Kenyon is starting to get more pressure from Jason Miller out the back. The bottom 2 in this 4-car pack are starting to lose touch with the top 2, but the bottom 2, that's where the battle is really important. Those are for those final transfer spot, the final transfer spot. The top 2 are already in, and they're starting to put some gaps in between themselves and the 99 and 86.
Oh, here comes Miller right to the back bumper of Kenyon now off turn number 2. Kenyon 99, Miller 86. This is for the final spot. Miller now going to look to the inside. Nothing doing that time. Close quarters action. We're going to keep it right here because for now, this is the only spot that matters, just past the halfway point here in this second consolation race. Kenyon starting to drive the wheels off that thing, giving this car everything it has, because he knows he's got to keep the 86 in his rear view mirror if he wants to go to tonight's main event. Because starting the main event, well, hey, if you're in the show, you've got a good chance having a good finish, because we've seen some wild action in those features. I'm just trying to get y'all to stick around because it's going to be a great time later on as we go 100 laps in week number 4 of this eWorld Series here at New Smyrna Speedway.
Jason Miller starting to put a couple taps to the rear bumper of Rex Kenyon as they came off of turn 4 there. He's starting to let him know, hey, I'm here. I'm getting ready to make some moves. Jason Miller wants to make this show. Of course, Rex Kenyon does too. Now Miller will look to the inside on the backstretch. He drives it in, and he makes contact with Rex Kenyon. He gets an aggressive bump. He hits him in the left. Right now, he spins. Jason Miller slides into pit road. That's going to take him out of contention.
Miller tried to go with the bump and run, and he spins out onto pit road. I don't know if you believe in karma or not, but maybe we just saw it right there. Kenyon going to hang on to that 3rd spot as Tyler Sontag now puts the pressure on Jeffrey Gilbo for the race lead. This is not over yet.
My, oh my, how things can change. I just mentioned it a few minutes ago, and there you have it, folks. The awesomeness of racing. You never know what's going to happen, and things can just change in an instant. So now we'll focus on the battle for the race lead as Rex Kenyon has a just under 3.5 seconds back to Robert Pierce in position 4. Tyler Sontag, plenty of space out the back. He knows he can afford to race with Jeffrey Gilbo here a little bit, but he doesn't want to get too aggressive with it because, of course, if he makes a mistake like we saw Jason Miller do, he could be the next one on the outside looking in.
Yeah, we still have 4 cars out there, so
Karma.
that one mistake, and that could be all it takes. But if I'm these two, I know what's at stake. I'm going to just stay right here in line. A win's a win, but this is a consolation race. But throw that out the window because here comes Sontag. Getting racy, looking outside, trying the crossover move now. Looking to the inside. Gilbo shuts the door. We ride with Tyler Sontag. Gilbo all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. On the outside, I think we might have a new race leader here with Tyler Sontag in the 91. Yes, Gilbo might have had a problem there, and he did, and he slips way back, but he's still locked in. Tyler Sontag, an aggressive move off turn number 4. Looks like he might be on his way to the win here in this consolation race.
Yeah, the problem that the 92 there of Jeffrey Gilbo had was he had contact made from the 91 going into turn number 3 there. A long, lazy slide. He was able to gather it up, stayed off of pit lane, and he will lose the battle for the race lead. He eventually lose this race here, but he'll at least be able to make the show. Off of turn number 4, how about this? The Heartbreak Kid finally becomes the showstopper. Not only does he make the show, he will win our final last chance qualifier. Tyler Sontag in the 91 is in. Jeffrey Gilbo will finish in position number 2, and Rex Kenyon will grab the 3rd and final transfer position. That is it, folks. 3 heat races, 2 last chance qualifiers. Our field is set for the 4th week of the New Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing. We are ready to go. Our field is ready. We'll have 7 minutes of warm-up, and while we have that opportunity, we'll send it down trackside for our national anthem.
Another week goes by, and another week I don't have that very awesome track dune buggy that you guys have down there at New Smyrna, Ryan. I really want to, at the very least, take a couple of laps in that thing, because, man, it looks like a lot of fun. But I do want to take just a quick opportunity. This is Paul Strickland down in the production trailer, just kind of chiming in. I do want to thank everybody out there watching on Facebook and YouTube, streaming live on YouTube, for that beautiful 1080 stream that you can check out on your smart TV or any kind of TV that you got a Fire Stick plugged into that's got the YouTube app on it. Just do a quick search for VidaneTV and it'll pop right up. Awesome 1080p stream of racing action directly into your living room. And very excited to have that. We're also streaming live on the VidaneTV Facebook page as well as the new Smyrna Speedway track page as well on Facebook. So very excited to have that going on. And man, oh man, I got to tell you, from everybody here at Vidane Racing, especially myself, seeing all these pictures of you fans out there watching both the VidaneTV race and the new Smyrna World E-Series race here on VidaneTV, as well as the Darlington race here for NASCAR, that really pulls on my heartstrings. That's pretty cool to see. Very, very happy, very excited to have you guys out here watching tonight. Be sure to tell your friends, like, share, and subscribe, all that social media mumbo-jumbo. Let everybody know that you're watching 2 races tonight, one on TV, and, well, probably the other one on TV, too, depending on how your setup is. But, Kyle, we've had an awesome night here so far. We had some action-packed qualifying, some great heat races, a couple of good consies to kind of set the field here tonight. And the fan favorite, like you made mention, the Heartbreak Kid, Tyler Sontag, finally becomes the showstopper as he makes his very first feature event here in the new Smyrna World E-Series of racing.
Hey, Paul, I just want to real quick. When he crossed the line, he was screaming louder than I screamed when I stubbed my toe. Tyler was extremely happy to finally get that win. He gave a little bump and run to Jeff. But he was extremely happy. And, man, watching the stream, you guys are killing.
Wes, was he louder than you at the beginning of these shows when you introduced the crowd, or what?
He's getting there. I think next week.
You know what, Wes? Let's do something special here. Let's talk to the fan favorite. Let's talk to the Heartbreak Kid. Let's talk to the showstopper, Tyler Sontag. Tyler, you got a copy, brothers. Paul Strickland in the booth.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey, man, we finally made one of these races, and the fans are screaming your name, man. It's awesome to finally see you make a feature race. Got yourself a consi win, man. How does it feel?
Pretty good. Jeff was in the same channel. I was going to move him whether he wanted me to or not, but it just all...
That is a racer's racer right there, man. Tyler, hopefully we... Ryan, you got a question, or... Missed the button.
Yeah, hey, Tyler, it's Ryan over here. From me and Margot, wanted to give you a go, Tyler.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, man, good luck in the feature.
Good luck, buddy. Hopefully we talk to you tonight in the podium.
Thank you.
Just wanted to give you a quick heads up. Remember, these drivers won't be allowed to take any tires. There's no resets, as well as that top 8 invert, as you spoke about before. But one driver has thrown down the gauntlet in the chat that you may not have heard. One driver believes that he's going to be able to bring home the win from the back, and of course that is Ryan Matthews. He thinks he can drive it up to the front after this invert, so he's going to be one to watch.
All right, well, hey, that will be fun to watch because we talked about it. Me and Kyle did at the beginning of the show. Ryan Matthews, he's been the guy to beat, and we also have some pretty good prizes up to grabs for the winner. So it's going to be an interesting 100-lap feature. Of course, Ryan Matthews does come in tonight as your point leader. There's been 3 races already, and Matthews does have a commanding point lead, but all that could change. We'll have to wait and see what happens here tonight. If you're just joining us for the feature tonight, we did qualify earlier this evening. The top 10 qualifiers were locked in. They didn't have to go through the gauntlet of the heat races and the consolation races. They went straight to the main invert for the top 8. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is. Our warm-up session is just about ready to wrap up here. We will go for 100 laps. It's been overall a very smooth night. Lots of great racing. We've seen some dramatic moments. Hopefully that will transfer over into the feature, and we will have ourselves a fantastic event to wrap up the 4th week of our season.
I think you're right, Kyle, and we'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors here real quick. Of course, Edgewater Screen, the title sponsor of this New Smyrna World E-Series of Racing. Of course, this race number 4. We also would like to thank Super Spray Pressure Wash. That is James Adams' company, so if you need anything pressure washed, what better time than now when we ain't got a whole lot going on. That is Super Spray Pressure Wash. Call them at 386-566-0409. And we'd also like to thank Dustin's Barbecue, as they are still open for takeout from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. if you're local in the New Smyrna area. Dustin's Barbecue, a big supporter of New Smyrna Speedway, so support them too if you can, as we are gridding for tonight's main event. 25 cars signed in and ready to go.
25 is the car count, 100 is the distance. Here we go. On the pole for tonight's 100-lap feature event is the number 98 machine of Cody Brinson. He was your 8th place qualifier, gets the benefit of the invert, and will get to start on the point with Bray Holmes in the 57 car to his outside in position number 2. Anthony Surgery in the number 20 car will line up in P3 with Ryan Borges in the 33 in position number 4. Devin McLeod in the 21 car will line up in 5th, and Eric Purcell's number 88 will line up in 6th. David Costello, another one of the drivers making his first feature start of the season in the car number 50. He will start in position number 7. And the man of the hour, the hottest driver here in the new Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing, Ryan Matthews, the unlucky beneficiary of the invert. He will start in position number 8. Jimmy Frazier in the number 6 car will line up in position number 9, and Dodge Carlbert will round out the top 10 in position number 10 with car number 14.
All right, so we're getting ready to go. Cody Brinson will be on the front row up there next to that 57, the Gravedigger-looking car. Some interesting paint schemes on these cars tonight. I like how these guys bring something different to the table each and every week here on VidaneTV. Here we go. Cody Brinson going to lead the field down to green. He's aggressive, but he's fast. Let's see what he can do. Anthony Sergi, though, in that 3rd spot on the 20. He's going to be one to watch. He won the Street Stock opener on week number 1. 3 weeks ago. So here we go. We're underway. Cody Brinson, the 98, going to try to take that race lead going down into turn number 3.
Brinson's got the advantage coming off of turn number 4. Will he hang on? He will. Lap number 1 goes to the 98. Trouble for the 07 machine. Dylan Martin, he has... Well, I thought he had gone around. He must have saved it. Nice job by him. Dylan Martin, the winner of one of our last chance races, lost 6 positions. Or was he a heat race winner? Either way, he's dropped 6 positions. He's continuing to move on forward. So an unfortunate start there. A few more cars in the middle of the pack get sideways, and one of them is spinning around. We have a car around on the front stretch. It is the 03 machine, it appears to be. The 43 machine, Daniel Dye, excuse me. Daniel Dye has gone around. It is a solo spin. No caution. He'll have to rejoin at the back of the field and hope one comes out soon.
Daniel Dye, the Pro Late Model champion at New Smyrna Speedway a year ago, now to the back of the field. Anthony Sergi has had a rough start in the 20. He's been shuffled back a couple of positions, as has that 57 who started up on the front row. So we've seen a lot of wild action. Paul's already busy down there in the trailer letting us know what's going on, trying to bring us these pictures here. It's been wild and crazy, but we're still...
Lots of wild action to get this one underway. The number 88 machine battling for position. That is Eric Purcell. He is underneath the 21 car of Devin McLeod, trying to take that spot away. Great battle coming off of turn number 4. Purcell has it, but now here comes the 21 of McLeod. At the line, that went to McLeod, but now Purcell with the advantage once again. And as soon as I say that, the 21 takes it. Now it looks he will clear on the backstretch and will peek to the inside of Ryan Borges going into 3. Drives right up to the door, nearly makes contact, but lots of strength looking out of that 21 car so far here tonight.
Well, Devin McLeod, he went from the top to the bottom trying to get around that 33 of Borges, and he was unable to do so. He takes another peek down to the inside. But I think at this point, Kyle, we've seen both these lines kind of equalize. So right now, passing might be kind of tough to do, as we see a battle here between the 57 and the 20. Anthony Sergi, one of those guys we've talked about, winner of the first street stock race a couple of weeks ago on the opening night of this series, kind of been shuffled back mid-pack. We'll have to keep our eye on him. Another guy we're going to keep our eye on is Ryan Matthews as we get a caution. Caution is out for the first time here tonight on lap number 8. The 13 machine. So we'll see if Paul can dial us up a replay. Caution out for the first time here on lap number 8.
Yeah, the 13 machine of David Leininger involved. The 15 of TJ Chambers is involved. Looks like the contact initiated with Chambers and Dylan Martin in the 07 there in the center of 3 and 4. Paul, what were you able to get a look at?
We're looking at the 13, focusing in on him right now of David Leininger. Leininger. I almost got it. As he heads on down into the corner, there was nobody next to him, nobody behind him. And there you see, it looks like there's where it started. The 15 and the 07 get around, but the 13 definitely got caught up in it. Boom. Huge hit. 13 T-bones the 15, sends the 15 into a flip and turning that 13 almost into an SK modified, like you see race at Stafford Motor Speedway here on VidaneTV on Sunday nights, completely destroying the front of that race car. We'll back this up one more time here, see if we can get an action shot and see what actually caused that 15 car to go around, and it looks like it definitely may have been a little bit of help there for the TJ Chambers machine. As you can see, he's up high on the 07. 07 gets a little piece of him, just a little piece, but just enough. Sends him on around the 51, able to skate on by no problem, and that was your AWS Roofing instant replay.
Paul, we've seen a lot of flips out of these street stocks here in the 2 weeks they've raced, and another wild incident there, but one thing to note here, I'm sure we have a lot more people tuning in than we did at the beginning. I just want to let everybody know that the new Smyrna Speedway has announced plans to reopen. We've been kind of talking about it the last few weeks, hinting at some things, but they finally revealed their plans. They will have an open practice this Saturday from noon to 5. So we'll see some cars on the track. We will be there if you're watching on our Facebook page. If not, we will be live streaming some of that practice from our Facebook page to kind of let you guys know what's going on. We'll do some pit walkthroughs. And then on May the 30th, Saturday, May the 30th, racing returns to the real-life new Smyrna Speedway as we get back to our regular season action. I'm super excited. We can't wait to get back going. But tonight, Wednesday night, here we are with VidaneTV, week number 4 of the eWorld Series. We're still going to be bringing this to you on Wednesday night, so you're going to have all kinds of racing now. Here we go. Cody Brinson, your leader. He fires off turn number 4. Brinson leads us back to the green flag. And don't look now, but here comes Ryan Matthews in that 51, right into the thick of things. You cannot hold this guy back.
Yeah, it didn't take him long to move up through the field despite the invert. He's currently running in the runner-up position, but his back bumper is getting beat by Devin McLeod. Devin McLeod wants to challenge the 51 car. He knows how well Ryan has done in this series, and we've seen the strength out of that 20. Trouble in the back of the field. The 6 and the 19 have gone around. The 6 machine of Jimmy Frazier and the 19 of Colt Cecil have spun. The 68 of Hunter Lovelady is involved. Nicholas Noggle is also involved. Caution flag number 2 flies here on lap number 14.
Oh, and Hunter Lovelady just flipped himself coming off the banking. These street stock guys need to readjust their weights because they got something going on. Lovelady just flipped coming off the banking. This is turning into another wild one, and we'll get Paul to dial us up a replay so we can see what happened.
Yeah, that 68 car of Lovelady there, that wasn't very clean of him right there in that tide ride, but we'll take a quick look here, see what happened. We're actually going to take a look from, see what I did there? Going to take a look here from the AWS Roofing blimp as we look at the instant replay. Heading on down into the corner, you see the 68 is up high following that Gravedigger number 57 machine, and you see the 9 or the 6, depending on how that's supposed to go. I'm not sure which way the door numbers are supposed to go. 57 looks like he gets into the back bumper of the 50. No harm, no foul there, so we'll keep viewing here. You see that's the 6 car. The 6 car seems to be holding a line, and a little bit of a glitch issue there from the 50. Let's see, the 19 heads on down low. I might have backed this up a little bit too far and just wanted to listen to myself talk. There we go. There's some action. 19 gets into the 6. The 6 spins around. The back end of that car comes into the Tide machine, sends him on around as well. The 14 come up in that high line, going where the wreck is. Usually that works. Didn't work this time. 07 gets by. The 14 does not, and the 6 car, or the 9 car rather, squeaks on by. Only damage he got there was a little bit of paint getting rubbed off that right side door. So tough break. You see, looks like the 08 of Nicholas Noggle got a little piece of it as well. But no prohibitive damage here. You can see a little bit of nose damage on the 08 car of Nick Noggle, so that's definitely not all that bad. Long way to go here. Still have about 83 laps, probably going to restart here with 80 laps to go, but these guys should definitely be able to kind of capitalize and hope for a better finish than back in the high 20s.
Yep, still a long way to go. Boy, we've seen a lot of movers so far, and that reminds me, we'd like to thank Shed Life Movers. They're a professional full-service shed moving service located in Central Florida, serving all of Florida. So that is Shed Life Shed Movers. So if you need anything moved, especially your shed, go ahead and get a hold of them. And now we're going to have to see if anyone can fend off Ryan Matthews. Right now, Cody Brinson running the extreme high line, trying to cool off his tires, I would imagine. An old dirt track strategy there. At least that's what I think he's trying to do up there. But Cody Brinson, he's been the leader from the drop of the green. And now we got to see if he can hold off Ryan Matthews. Do you guys think that anyone's got anything for Ryan tonight?
It's definitely possible. Whether it happens or not will be a different story. We've got a long way left to go. Cody Brinson showing himself to be a great contender thus far. I'm very interested to see what the 21 of Devin McLeod is going to do. He's shown a lot of aggression in these early laps. He's looking very good. He's currently running in position number 3. He started this race in 5th, so he's moving up through the pack. It'll be fun to watch that bright red number 21 car compete for the remainder of the evening. The green flag has flown once again. Lap number 19 goes in the books. Single file restart this time due to the quick amount of time that was in between caution flags there. So we'll see if we can get some more laps run. Cody Brinson in the front half of the field off to a nice start. Eric Purcell is looking to the inside of Ryan Borges. He is not able to make the pass there, so he'll fall back in line. Want to make a quick mention on that 33 car of Ryan Borges. I noticed when we were in our AWS roofing replay that Ryan Borges had some drama under caution there. He was actually nailed in the rear end very, very hard by, I believe, the Lucky Dog car of TJ Chambers. Chambers was trying to take the Lucky Dog, went back to the bottom of the racetrack, never saw Ryan Borges, piled into the back of that 33 and actually ended up upside down again for the second time tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that damage on the 33 car. There's a lot of it there on the right rear corner panel. We'll see if that affects him at all.
Well, it's been wild even under caution here tonight. Everybody getting single file for the time being, and that's kind of the way we've seen things go here. We have some wild action as things get sorted out in the early laps. Then they kind of get into a rhythm. We run maybe 23 laps. Never mind, caution's out. I take it all back. Well, we got a car around. We're still green. We are still green. That is the 14. Now the 70's in it. Now the caution is out. So, yeah, I jinxed us once again. I will take the blame on that one as usual.
Got another car upside down and in a wild way. That was the 70 machine of David Love. Looks like it started with Dodge Carlbert and Dylan Martin. The two of them made contact. Not Carlbert, all sorts of out of shape. And then here comes the 70 machine, made contact with the 14. And Paul, what a snap roll that was on that Haviland number.
Taking a look here from the AWS roofing blimp as we take a look at the instant replay. You see the 14 and the 07 kind of nose to tail just about, and really good opportunity to see just all the rubber buildup there down on the apron and up on the wall. Really giving these guys a little bit of a handling issue, and that may very well have been what happened there to the 14. You see he gets up into the wall as he comes out of turn number 4, crosses the stripe, and up high we still see no 70 car. So the 14, gets a little bit of a tap there from that Red Bull 07, and he almost corrects it, overcorrects it, shoots it on up into the wall, slaps the wall, pancakes it just a bit, and he looks like he's got it corrected. The 43, Daniel Dye, gets into the back of the 70 just a little bit, just enough. Oh, and he flips over the 70 as he hits that wall and runs into the back of the 14. So tough break. You see the 70 actually backs into the 9 a little bit, and then Nick Noggle gets into that Tide machine. So looks like Rex is going to get a little piece of action as well. Looks like he just wanted a little bit of TV time there in the 99 car. But man, it's a tough break for the 14 and the 70. You can see the 70's got a lot of black smoke kicking up from underneath that car. May very well be done for the evening. 14 looks like he's able to grab a gear and roll away. So we'll see what he can do here later on into the feature.
Boy, another one of those wild flips, like you said, and that part of the wall here at New Smyrna Speedway, that's a scary place to hit the wall. If you hit at an angle in real life, you will go upside down. We've seen our Superstock guys hit over there and do, well, maybe not quite as many flips as that, but we've seen them go upside down over there in that exact portion of the racetrack. So that is not the place you want to meet the concrete. Well, I don't think there really is a place you'll want to meet the concrete, but that's one of the worst ones. So Caution out again. We are past the quarter mark here at the new Smyrna Speedway. Cody Brinson, I think, is a guy who likes these cautions. He looks good on the short runs. Of course, Ryan Matthews, the winner of the last 2 weeks of this series, is up into the second spot, trying to make it 3 in a row. It'll be his first street stock win if he can get it done. He seems to be the fastest car, but Cody Brinson has the widest car so far, as he's been able to lead most of the way.
Yeah, so far so good from the pole. Continuing out front, Ryan Matthews, as mentioned, is second. Devin McLeod continues to ride in P3. Eric Purcell was able to get around Ryan Borges during that short green flag run and sits in fourth. And now Borges in the 33 is in fifth. Then we have Anthony Sergi, David Costello, Bray Holmes, Blake Clauser, and Daniel Dye recovering up to a 10th place run after his early spin. So here we go. The pace truck goes on to pit road. Lap number 28 will go in the books. And the green flag hits the atmosphere once again. We are back racing here at New Smyrna Speedway. A great start by Cody Brinson. He's able to put about a couple car lengths in between himself and Ryan Matthews. Here comes Devin McLeod looking to the inside, now goes back in line behind the 51. Thought he was going to charge for that second position. Now he hits the 51 of Ryan Matthews, gives him a shot in the center of the turn. Isn't able to do anything with it just yet, but Devin McLeod again showing his aggression and showing his speed on the 51.
Well, Devin McLeod getting aggressive. He was the winner of the Sportsman race during the Red Eye weekend at New Smyrna Speedway back in January. Now Devin McLeod, they know at this point that Ryan Matthews is the guy to beat. And he's got that target. Devin McLeod in racing. We got a battle for the lead. Here comes Matthews now. Look at the inside as we ride with Devin McLeod. You can see the race for the lead out ahead. Brinson outside, Matthews inside. Who's going to prevail now as they go down the back straightaway? It's Brinson. Brinson with a great move off turn number 2 to hang on to that race lead. And now look at McLeod. McLeod to the inside. McLeod getting a race lead. Purcell in the 88. He's getting into it. Top 4 right there. Ready to pounce. Making the top 5 now as here comes Borgs now in that 33. Matthews, a little slip slide, and he's going to drop a spot.
Hey guys, just a quick update for you. The 14 of Dodge Colbert was black flagged for taking tires. He was black flagged, a 30-second penalty.
All right, so no tires allowed here during this series. And since oh, look out, Matthews gets contact. He saves it. But now our point leader getting drop kicked through the field. A lot of developments here in the last lap or so.
Wild action going on in the top 5. Ryan Matthews goes from second all the way back to 5th. We have a penalty there for Dodge Carlbert. And I got to be honest here, Ryan. I got to give these guys credit. This is week number 4. We've gotten into a rhythm here. That is the first penalty that we have had for a tire change all season long. Unfortunately, Dodge Carlbert is the recipient of that penalty. But that's the first time that has become an issue all season long. So props to these guys for making do of that rule. Dodge probably forgetting that had a little more on his mind after getting caught up in that incident. So his night unfortunately goes from bad to worse. Now we have a new contender for the race lead, and it is the 21 of Devin McLeod. He's moved his way around Ryan Matthews in a great short track battle. Matthews still riding back in position number 5, and that bright red and black number 21 car is closing in on the back bumper of the 98 of Cody Brinson.
Yeah, we got a great battle up front. Top 3 now, nose to tail. Going back to the Dodge Carlbert situation, he runs in the E-Truck series that they do on Mondays. They're allowed to take tires there, so I think that was just a slip of the mind as we got a battle here for the race lead. Now it might turn into a battle for the second spot as Eric Purcell getting racing. The top 3 here running nose to tail. A nice gaggle of cars here as they come off turn number 4. Cody Brinson, though, has led all the way, but 2 hungry drivers closing in. Here comes McLeod. Down to the bottom there, side by side for the race lead off turn number 2.
Devin McLeod will challenge Cody Brinson for the first time for the race lead. He's at the door going through the center of 3 and 4. Who will have the advantage coming off at turn 4? It looks to be McLeod, but that last second surge there on the 98 car will keep him out front. Eric Purcell paying very close attention to this battle, trying to see which line is the better one so he can fit through an open door if possible. McLeod will now back off behind the 98, still off center to the inside, now gets another good run through the center. Oh, Brinson kisses the wall there a little bit. He's still able to clear. Oh, no, the 21 is still to the inside. Fantastic racing action. This track is in a very, very good shape. Both lanes looking just about as equal as can be.
Hey, it's taken us 4 weeks to get some great racing out of these guys, but here we go. This is what we started this series for. This is what we wanted to see. as Cody Brinson tries to fend off Devin McLeod. Brinson opening the door a lap ago. McLeod 21 on the bottom, Brinson 98 on the high side, Eric Purcell 88 sitting back there waiting in the wings in the third spot. Who's going to prevail here? Brinson's led all the way, and now Devin McLeod, the veteran racer who races everything from modifieds to late models to sportsmen and even virtual race cars. It don't matter. Devin McLeod, one of the best racers in the state of Florida. No matter what you put him in, he'll even race the truck. Maybe we're going to race the trucks next week. Who knows? Still a great battle for the lead as we have the side cam here. You can see just how close the racing is. They almost touch going into turn number 1. Brinson hanging on to about a half car length lead.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Ryan, but I believe this is Devin McLeod's debut with this series. I don't remember seeing his name throughout the prior 3 weeks. If we have, we definitely haven't seen him be this strong. He is still fighting on the bottom side of that racetrack. He's not giving up. Brinson has continued to lead every single lap thus far, but he's had to do so these last 5 to 7 laps with that 21 car to the inside. This is a fantastic battle, and look who's reeling in behind the 88 car of Eric Purcell. Ryan Matthews has moved up to 4th, and he is on the back bumper of the 88. He wants to join in and put himself back to the front of the field where he's been so familiar throughout the entirety of this series.
Oh no, we might be 3 wide for the race lead as we're watching Ryan Matthews claw his way back into the fight. Now we have a 4-car battle for the lead. I'm sorry there. I thought they were going to get 3 wide for the race lead. They sort it back out, and here comes Eric Purcell. Now the battle's for second. Great job of driving by Cody Brinson tonight in the 98 as he's led all the way, as you stated, but now he's got some more company, and here he comes like a shark looking for blood. Ryan Matthews, we ride with him now. He's up to 4th.
Oh, contact between the second and third place cars. Eric Purcell spins around coming off of turn 4, and he is flipping. Eric Purcell upside down on the front straightaway was racing Devin McLeod for position number 2. The two of them made ever so slight contact. I don't know if one came up or down. Either way, the 88 got the worst end of it, and he goes for a wild ride down the front stretch. Looks like surprisingly doing that in the middle of the field, coming up in the racing line. There was one car that might have clipped the rear end, but I think the majority of the field escaped major catastrophe through that crash.
Yeah, we'll pull up the AWS Roofing instant replay here and find out exactly what went down with the 88 and the 21. It seems like every time I jump into that cockpit view, we miss a little bit of action, so I apologize for that. Maybe we'll stop doing. Oh, he gets tagged there. We're going to back that up one more time and take a look at that in slow motion here. As soon as we can get this queued up. There we go. Instant replay. So here you see the 88, check that, and the 21 battling side by side. 88 down low, 21 up high, and the 88 just kind of comes on down low, right on that yellow line, right on the apron there, and you see, I say you see, but I haven't seen it yet. 88 comes up just a hair, barely makes contact, gets that car out of shape, loses the back end of it, tries to correct it, overcorrects it, and sends it on up into the outside wall. You see he gets a tag. How did those guys miss that? Holy cow. Great driving from the drivers mid-pack in this field as they miss the 88. Gets that thing propped up, and he's just kind of hanging out up there in the fence. I don't think he's stuck, but he might be. Nope, drops it. There we go. All 4 rubbers on the ground. There we go. Able to grab a gear, smoke the tires, spin on around, and get that thing back rolling again. So Tough Break is going to be restarting this restart about halfway here from 19th. We'll see if he can drive his way back up through the field.
Well, he's going to have his work cut out for him, and now we get a chance to catch our breath after some fantastic racing as we've reached the halfway point in this thing. 50 great laps complete. Hopefully 50 more great laps to go. As, man, I don't know about you, but the racing has been fantastic, and Cody Brinson has been impressive, to say the least.
The battle up front has been phenomenal. Cody Brinson and Devin McLeod spent the majority of that green flag run side by side, battling their hearts out for that lead, and Cody Brinson able to hang on. I'm so impressed with that 21 of McLeod. As I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I believe he's making his debut with the new Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing, and what a debut it's been if that is the case. He's running up in position number 2 right now. He's been a contender the whole way through, and I very much believe he could win this race if things continue on this pace. But of course, we can't forget about Ryan Matthews. He's moved his way up into position number 3 after slipping back off that prior restart. Ryan Borges is currently in 4th. And how about our Week 1 Street Stock winner, Anthony Sergi? He is now inside the top 5. Don't count out Sergi. Always a threat to win here at the real new Smyrna Speedway, and can do so on the virtual one as well, as we have gone back to green.
Kyle, I hate to correct you, but I got to correct you. Devin McLeod has started all 3 races so far, but he's only got 1 top 5. He's sitting 14th in points right now. So anybody interested in the points, check out Vidane.net. Click on the Series tab, and you'll be able to check out the new Smyrna Speedway eWorld Series and the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series points, schedules, and rules set right there on Vidane.net.
Thank you for that, Paul. And Devin, he may have been quiet so far in this series, but he's making some noise tonight, trying to go down the hill. And going to be now on number 98 of Cody Brinson, who continues to lead. Ryan Matthews third. Was going to talk about Anthony Sergi. He got off to a tough start in this race, and now he's back up into the top 5, trying to make some things happen. Battle for the lead, though, heating up again. Devin McLeod, Cody Brinson, and Ryan Matthews, your top 3. Here comes that 21, looking for the race lead on Brinson in 3.
Devin McLeod will peek to the inside once again. They will pick up right where they left off on that previous green flag run. The 98 of Brinson continues to lead. McLeod trying to find some momentum on that bottom side of the racetrack. He is dead even with him. You can see that surge that Cody Brinson gets literally. Oh! McLeod makes Brinson and spins him around. Cody Brinson backs it into the outside wall from the lead. We're still green. He's out of the way. Will we see the caution flag? Brinson was the leader. Now we do get the caution flag. My goodness. Such a heartbreak for Cody Brinson, and really for all of us. That fantastic battle ends in a spin. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Oh, man, I hate to see that. The race for the lead has been so good for 57 laps, and now Paul will take us back through it, but obviously some contact there up at the front. But, Paul, what'd you see?
Yeah, taking a look at the AWS instant replay here. The AWS roofing instant replay, easy enough for me to say. The 98 of Brinson up high, the 21 down low, and the 21 of McLeod there. And they're racing hard all night long. Half a race these guys have been going back and forth for better than 50 laps. And you can see they get close here on the backstretch, head on down to turn number 3. Looking at it in slow motion, we're actually going to switch camera angles, take a look at the AWS roofing blimp. And, man, you can see the 21 doesn't really go as low as he's been going. The 98 comes down just a little bit, spins across the nose of the 21. Check that. So 21 new leader. 98 is going to be restarting from somewhere in the back. Looks like he's currently scored 14th. And that's absolutely, like you said, a heartbreak. You can see he was kind of just parked up there outside of the racing groove, waiting for these drivers to get by. He doesn't want to come down and wreck anybody else's night. Definitely a commendable move there. But, man, starting on the pole, leading a bunch of laps. Looks like he's led 55 of the 59 current laps so far. And, man, just gets spun out just after halfway. So tough break for Brinson, but I can guarantee you he's not going to be in that back of the pack for very long. I can definitely see him driving his way through the field here.
Yeah, without a doubt, Paul, that 98 machine has been so strong all night long. Looks like he is going to line up in position 13, so really not all that bad, I guess, when you think about it. When you look at the circumstances presented, it's obviously going to be very difficult for him to work through the field, but he does have time. He'll have a little under 40 laps to do it. I want to make a quick little shout out here. I made note before that that caution had happened there. Ryan, you want to get the fans riled up here? How about this? Tyler Sontag, our second LCQ winner, has taken that number 91 machine from position number 21 on the grid and is currently riding inside the top 5 in position 5.
Boy, how about Tyler really making some noise tonight? He is the kind of the underdog we've been rooting for these last couple of weeks, and he gets in the show and he's putting on a show. We haven't had the camera on him much because the action up front's been so good, but now let's see what the 91 can do. And tough break, Devin McLeod has been dropped to the tail for being involved in the caution. And hello, Ryan Matthews. It's taken him 62 laps, but now he leads the field. And real quick, before we get back to green flag racing, we'd like to thank Sunshine State Racing, the leaders in Florida racing on Facebook. Make sure you follow them there so you can stay up to date with everything going on in Florida racing. They cover everything from the Gladiators at Volusia to the Super Weights at New Smyrna Speedway. So follow Sunshine State Racing so you know what's going on and you can plan out your weekends as racing's getting back going here, at least in Florida. And we're getting ready to go back racing. Ryan Matthews, the 51, your championship leader, is your race leader, and he's, as always, king of the restarts. He's got a big lead going down into turn number 1. Here comes Anthony Sergi, week 1 winner. So it's not over yet, folks.
Also breaking into the top 5 for the first time tonight, how about that 50 car of David Costello? Costello is currently side by side with Sergi for position number 3. He will find the advantage on the top side of the racetrack and has the spot at the line. He has not cleared the 20 just yet, but give it a few seconds, and off at turn number 2, he has done so. The 50 machine, David Costello, moves his way into P3 for the first time here tonight. This is also his first. Oh, we got a spin to the back. I believe that's the 16 machine. Is he saving it? I think so. The 16 of Nick Snyder, a great save in the middle of 3 and 4. We will stay green flag for that. Awesome job. And I will rejoin that battle up front with Ryan Matthews, David Costello, and Ryan Borges now in position number 2.
Now we're looking at Cody Brinson trying to slice his way back up through this field. He's getting under Dodge Collibert now as we got a big gaggle of cars here down the front straightaway. And, boy, we've seen a lot of drivers making some noise that haven't made a lot of noise in this series, like Costello, like Tyler Sontag, like Devin McLeod earlier. So I know that Ryan Matthews is leading now, but I don't think this thing is over. I think we're still going to get some great racing right down to the end. 67 complete. Plenty of time for these guys to make something else happen. But we're watching this eye of the storm here right in the middle of the pack. 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all in a wad as they go into turn number 3. And this might be where that next yellow flag flies, especially if the 98 and 21 get together again.
I mentioned at the top of the show how, with this being the 4th week and the second time we're coming back to the street stocks, that these guys should start feeling more comfortable, should be able to put on a better show. And I think with that, we've also seen some resurgence from some of these guys that have been struggling throughout these first few weeks, like David Costello and Tyler Sontag. They've had these few weeks to kind of have an opportunity to figure out what's been wrong with their programs, right those issues during the week, and they've clearly made progress on that as Costello and Sontag making those.
We got a crash. It looks like Brinson was involved along with the 57, and Kyle, I think you're right. Some of these guys are starting to get this iRacing thing figured out, and I think that means this series is only going to get stronger as the weeks go on, but the caution out with 30 to go. Saw it happen right off the edge of the screen. Looks like Brinson got the fence, and then it was on from there, but we'll have Paul take us through it step by step.
Back here again with an AWS instant replay, another blimp view here. We're going to do it in slow motion. Now, you can see right here, the 21 was on the inside of the 98 as they head on down. They cross the stripe there, head on down into turn number 1. And we'll see what goes down here. The 57 was involved in the wreck. He's behind these two. And we'll see, as Ryan mentioned, the 98 may have gotten a piece of the wall. See, the 19 looks like, I don't know if he's slowing up or if the 98 and 21 were just getting quicker. You see the 19 comes up, driver's not clear. So hits the 98, sends him up into the wall and collects the 57. Luckily, we'll see what looks a little back-end damage there for the 57, that Gravedigger ride. That's an awesome-looking car. And a little bit of a love tap there on the 98. And one more love tap for good measure. So it doesn't look like there's anything crazy, no prohibitive damage or anything like that. You can see the 57 right away grabs the gear and heads on down as he's trying to get himself out of John Deere country. It looks like the 98 just reset. Cody Brinson sitting on pit road currently, so tough break for him. He may very well be done for the evening, but as we come back here from the instant replay and join the track live, just taking a look at the leaders right now, and I got to tell you guys, this is one of my most favorite things to do here on VidaneTV. This is one of my most favorite lines. You're looking at Ryan Matthews, the points leader. He's got a 5-point lead over the second place car, Ryan Borgs. And you know what that means? Kyle, I know you know what it means. The cream always rises to the top. Oh, yeah.
Well, I've never heard it like that before, but I agree. The Ryans are right back where they've been much of this series, and some of these other guys, man, I thought we were going to see a mix-up tonight. I really did, but a lot of these guys getting up on the wheel. Big shout-out to Costello and Sontag, Devin McLeod, Cody Brinson for giving these guys a run. Tough break for Cody Brinson, but Kyle, despite the Ryans, do you have a driver that you're watching? Do you think there's someone who could sneak up there and steal this win still?
Well, I hate to be so obvious just going with the guy that's immediately behind these two, but it's got to be Anthony Sergi. I mean, how can you not mention Anthony Sergi? He was the winner of week 1 with our street stocks. He's had a little bit of misfortune throughout these last couple of weeks with some of the other vehicles, but he's finding his home with these street stocks. He's currently in position number 3, looking very strong and very consistent so far. So at the moment, since Cody Brinson and Devin McLeod have gone to the back of the field, I've got my eye on that 20 car as we are now going back green flag racing 3/4 of the way through. Once they come around and complete this first lap off the restart, lap 74 goes into books. Oh, contact between Sergi and Borges. That'll shoot Sergi up the track a little bit. David Costello will try to file underneath. He's not able to do so. Sergi hangs on for the moment. Here comes Blake Clouser. He's starting to make his name known. Oh, trouble! Devin McLeod and Dylan Martin spin.
Oh, boy.
Turn number 4. That's going to cause a mess.
Big pile up, and I thought it was going to be a lot bigger. Well, we got one around. It looked like we're going to have about 5, 6 of them spun around there, Kyle, and looks like Purcell got the worst of it. But that's what I would call a big old gaggle that turned into a big old wad here off turn number 4.
And we'll take a look at the AWS roofing big old wad cam, as we're going to start calling it here. And now we'll take a look at slow motion so you don't miss any action. Man,
You're
just take
for that.
checks in the mail. But man, this is a great opportunity to take a look up by the wall and down in the apron. So much rubber buildup, rubber balls just kind of. As these tires wear out, the rubber material is just falling off of these tires. You can see the 07 getting in the back of the 6 just a skosh. And doesn't look like it does too much. The 07 has to check up. The 21, that red and black machine, we saw him up towards the front. He had to check up just a little bit. The 68 got involved. The 16, the 19, the 14, the 57. Nope, 57 didn't touch him. I saw that. And looks like he might get a little bit of a piece of the 14 right there. So the 16, 19, and like you said, Ryan, not as bad as it could have been. Definitely some heads-up driving here from these street stock drivers here tonight. Probably one of the better street stock races we've seen, and it's really good to see that these guys are really starting to take this kind of seriously, and man, there's some great wreck avoidance here, and it's one of those things where it's really good to see, where you can see a big wreck happening, and everybody just kind of slows up, gets on the brakes, gathers everything back up, and they know that they've got probably about 20 laps or so once we get restarted here.
Yeah, Paul, I think you're right. These guys are really starting to get better at this thing, putting on better shows. A week 1, that would have been a 20-car pileup with about 15 of them upside down, so great job from everybody tonight, putting on a good show. Lots of good, hard, clean racing. A little bit of contact, but, that's going to happen. We expect that. But great job from everybody. And we'll see if anyone can take this away from Ryan Matthews. We're getting down to it now, just about 20 to go. It'll be a little bit less than 20 to go when we go back green flag. Ryan Matthews, Ryan Borges, Anthony Sergi, your top 3, kind of 3 of the top guys in this series the last couple of weeks, showing the way.
And it's one of those things too, Ryan, where these guys not only are they getting better at driving, they're getting more comfortable with each other. They're basically learning everybody else's driving styles, and a lot of these guys, they do race at New Smyrna with each other in real life. But the way you drive in real life, as we've seen in the past, isn't necessarily the way you drive in the iRacing simulator. So a lot of these guys race a little bit differently when they're sitting on a computer. And after 3 weeks of the World E Series, and after, I believe, 2 weeks of the Florida Pro Truck Series on Monday nights here on VidaneTV, these guys are really starting to figure out what all the driving styles are. They know who they can race hard, who they can race clean, and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of practice, and it's a lot of getting to know your surroundings as well.
Absolutely. That's a great point. That comfort level, that trust that goes into racing against people, that is a great point, and that has definitely factored into tonight's race. It's been very enjoyable, at least from my position out here, hanging out on the old front porch tonight and having a good old time. So once again, like I say, each and every week, I appreciate all of our competitors for coming out, putting on a show, all of our fans watching on Facebook or on Vidane's YouTube, wherever you may be watching. And, of course, all of you guys at VidaneTV for putting this on. Here we go. Green flag going back in the air. Less than 20 laps to go. Ryan Matthews, king of the restarts, showing us why he's earned that nickname.
Gets himself off to another great one. Here comes Anthony Sergi. He looks to the inside of Ryan Borges down the backstretch. A nice drive going into turn number 3. He tries to clear, little contact, and now he does. The number 20 of Anthony Sergi, the winner in week 1. With the street stocks, he wants to defend that win, and now he's only got one car to pass, and it's probably the toughest one in the entire field. The guy that's won the last 2 races, your current points leader, Ryan Matthews, he has about a half a second to make up, but we know he can do it, as he has found success already with this series. How about the number 9 machine, Blake Clauser? He has made that pass on the 50 of David Costello, and just behind Costello now, Jimmy Frazier, who was caught up in an earlier crash. He has recovered and is battling Tyler Sontag for position 6.
I got to butt in real quick here because I was going to make a pick last caution. We ended up going to green. There's my pick right there, running P6, man. Tyler Sontag. He is coming in a hurry. He is pumped up. We talked to him just before the feature as he raced his way in by winning the consolation race, driving all the way through the field to a top 6 right now. Stuck on the high side on the outside of the 57, but doing a great job. A little bit of door contact there. Sontag's pumped up, man. I can see him winning this race.
Yeah, that would be something else. That would rewrite the story of this whole series, I believe, there. We're watching him now as he's in a dogfight. He cuts down to the bottom. He's not afraid to make a move, that's for sure. I think he's one of those guys that's gotten a lot more comfortable behind the wheel of these sim cars. It's great to see Tyler having a great run here tonight. Ryan Matthews still with that lead over week 1 winner Sergi. Anthony Sergi would like to get up there and even the score and make it 2 for 2, but you can see the gap now. Sergi's got a mirror full of cars. Ryan Borges and Blake Clauser right behind him, as is the 50 of Costello, as Ryan Matthews, as he's done the last few weeks, running away and trying to hide from the rest of the competition.
Some things just never change, and right now we're seeing just pure dominance in this new Smyrna Speedway World Series of eRacing by Ryan Matthews. Of course, as we've seen throughout the night, one small mistake can totally change things, but Matthews has just been the absolute model of perfection ever since he's joined this series. Great racing throughout the top 5, though. Anthony Sergi, Ryan Borges, Blake Clauser, David Costello, Jimmy Frazier, all these guys, all bumper to bumper to bumper as they work their way down the backstretch. We will complete lap number 89 this time, which means we have only 11 laps to go. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here, Ryan. If these guys are going to start making some moves, they need to do so. And as soon as I say that, Jimmy Frazier starts looking to the inside of David Costello. Oh, he nearly slides up and makes contact in the left rear corner panel, able to keep off of him, but that got close.
It was very close, and you nailed it right on the head. The aggression going to pick up. We're inside of 10 laps to go, and they know that if they're going to win this race, they've got to get by Ryan Matthews. They've got to catch Ryan Matthews. Probably the only way they're going to do that is we see the big lead Matthews has, over a second and a half on the field right now. It's probably going to take a yellow flag. We've seen a lot of late race yellows. Then again, Ryan Matthews, the king of the restart, so maybe it'll take a mistake from Ryan Matthews tonight, as he is, at this point, kind of racing the racetrack.
Battle with Jimmy Frazier and David Costello has intensified, but now it will completely die as the caution flag has flown here with just 9 laps of racing to go. Circling around the racetrack here, trying to see if we have a visual as to what happened. Don't have anything quite yet, but we do know that we are... Oh, there it was. There was somebody on the front stretch. Looks like Rex Kenyon in the 99 car and the 19 of Colt Cecil had problems, and it looks like Devin McLeod was also involved.
Well, there we go, Kyle. That late race yellow, as Paul will dial up a replay for us to let us know what happened out here. We're going to have a shootout to the finish, and now everybody going to be right to the back bumper of Matthews.
Taking a look at the instant replay brought to you by AWS Roofing, and you can see right here the 99, he just kind of kissed the wall just a little bit, came on down, kind of corrected himself, gave a little bit of a love tap there to the 19, and they head on down into, I believe, is turn number 3. I may be completely wrong on that, but looks like the 19 right on the apron, gets that left tire hooked right on it. You can see the brake rotors on these cars, but comes up just a bit and just tags the 99, sends him right on around. Oh, big hit there for the 21. Another one for his measure. You see the 14 gets a piece of it as well. Not the first time we've seen the 14 get any kind of damage. Comes down, slams that nose into the pit road wall there. So that 14 car may very well be done. I don't think Rex is done just yet. Doesn't seem like he's got any kind of damage. It looks like he's going to restart at the tail end, though. P14, as we're looking at the scoring monitor. Appears to be 16 cars here on the lead lap. So definitely a tough break for those guys. But back up front, Ryan Matthews still leads Anthony Sergi.
Well, and the two winners in this series, Kyle and Paul, are running 1-2. I don't think any of us are surprised. I think the surprise of the night's been Tyler Sontag back there, having a great run. And who knows, maybe if something happens in turn number 1, we get a surprise upset winner. But I think it's going to take something wild for that to happen.
Take a quick peek there at P3, too. Ryan Borgs, he's your second place points position.
That's right.
Now,
he
Ryan
would love to get up there and close that points gap for sure. So he might get aggressive on this restart. Good point.
Absolutely. And you see Ryan Matthews looking at Vidane.net. Ryan Matthews has 2 wins. Ryan Borgs has 3 top 5s in the 3 starts that he's had so far here at the New Smyrna World E-Series of Racing. So definitely going to be a consistency playing a factor here this evening in the points battle.
Yep, and that points battle, something that's going to evolve week in and week out. It's kind of easy to tell you Ryan Matthews, he looks like the guy to beat, but there's still a long way to go. Still 5 races to go after tonight. So Ryan Matthews off to the hot start, but it's all about how you finish. And we're going to try to finish that one, this one here tonight, as we're side by side, doubled up for a restart. Matthews, your leader, 51, choosing the outside. Anthony Sergi, week 1 winner to the inside. And it's Borges, Klauser, and Castillo. Or no, make that Frazier in the 6 down there, rounding out the top 5. So here we go. Less than 5 to go. Looks like it'll be 3 to go, and they hit the line. Sergi on the bottom. Matthews on the outside. Pick your winner now. Here they come to the line. We are back underway. Sergi with a great restart, not letting Matthews get away. Here they go, side by side. Sergi on the bottom, trying to surge ahead with a race lead.
Jimmy Frazier with a monster of a restart, took it 3 wide for a moment. He gains a spot from Blake Klauser, was trying to get on the attack to Ryan Borges. Anthony Sergi is all over that back bumper of Ryan Matthews. 2 laps of racing to go. How aggressive will the 20 get into turn number 1? Oh, he kicks a little tire smoke out of that left front. He is all over Ryan Matthews. Borges is all over him. Jimmy Frazier now starting to lose some positions into turn 3 for the penultimate time. More contact between the 20 and the 51 coming to the white.
Here we go. White flag is out. Matthews has not had this much competition on his back bumper at all in this series. Now he's got Sergi right behind him. Can Sergi get the bump and run? He bumps him, but he can't get him out of shape. Matthews hangs on. Here we go into turn number 3. Who's it going to be?
Down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Frazier hits Borges. Borges hits Sergi. They're 3 wide for second, but at the line, Ryan Matthews will go 3 in a row. Wild finish from the top 5. They all pile it up into turn number 1. How about this? Jimmy Frazier will come home in second. The double bump and run works. He hit Borges into Sergi, opens up enough space on the bottom for him to steal second. Ryan Borges will come home in third. Anthony Sergi falls to 4th. Blake Klauser will finish in 5th. And guys, I hate to mention it, I saw somebody spin there in turn 2 on the final lap. And it was the 91 of Tyler Sontag. He came across the line in 15th.
A heartbreak kid breaking hearts on the last lap. But, guys, have you seen a finish line? I know it was for second, but, my goodness, that looks like Talladega here at New Smyrna Speedway. What a finish. Ryan Matthews did a masterful job because Sergi gave him everything he had down there. What a way to finish this one off. I'm speechless.
Absolutely, and you know what? We may very well do the entire post-race show with this shot frozen on your screen. 5
how could
wide.
you not?
5 wide for second place. That's awesome. That was a fantastic finish.
Great job by everybody tonight, putting on an absolute show. They came out, they gave it everything. Sergi, bump and run attempt on Ryan Matthews. I thought he was going to get him. I really thought he was going to get him, but here's another look at the finish for second. That is a gaggle of cars for second, no doubt about it. What a race, what a finish.
That was absolutely incredible. If you didn't enjoy that finish, I really don't know what there is to try to convince you that racing is just a phenomenal sport. The double bump and run, I guess you can call it, from Jimmy Frazier made contact with the left rear of Ryan Borges. Borges got out of shape and ran up into Anthony Sergi. That opened up an incredible door for Jimmy Frazier to sneak on through, and they were beating and banging. They were sliding all over the place, and it ended up with Frazier in second. Ryan Matthews, again, I don't mean to be disrespectful to Ryan. He just won 3 in a row. He's now flipped it during his celebration. An incredible feat there, but him crossing the stripe just wasn't as exciting as those 5 guys behind him trying to fight it out for second.
No, once he got into turn number 3 clear, I don't think anybody cared because we were all watching. I don't know, man. I was expecting fireworks, but I couldn't have imagined that. That was incredible. Congratulations to Ryan Matthews. Jimmy Frazier, what a recovery. You mentioned it earlier that he was involved in one of the many incidents here tonight. And Ryan Borges, the second place point man, comes home in third. So he'll lose some points here tonight. But, hey, if and when something happens to Ryan Matthews, that points battle is still going to be tight, I believe. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. But, man, oh, man, that was exciting. Good luck going to sleep tonight, everybody. All right, Ryan Borges, you got a copy, buddy?
Yep.
Ryan, tell us about that finish from your perspective. I mean, have you ever been in a battle like that for second place?
It's pretty intense, to say the least. I think we've ended up probably 4 or 5 wide coming across the line there, but I thought Sergi was definitely going to move Matthews out of the way, and I thought I was going to be in prime position there to somehow steal the win, but it seemed like he got to him and gave him a couple taps, and Matthews did a good job of holding on and keeping the lead there that final start. He was quick all race. He was able to bounce back from getting set back to like 4th or 5th place earlier on, and avoided, I think, when the leaders wrecked about midway through, and then he took over the lead and led the rest of the race. But it got kind of hairy towards the end there. Glad I was able to finish off the race in third, though. That was nice, but definitely want to beat Matthews.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's the guy right now, and you coming home third, you're going to lose a few points in the standings, but you're right there in striking distance. If Ryan has a bad race, you're right there to capitalize. I think you two have established yourself as the class of the field. You just need that break, man. And I thought maybe tonight things were going to change. I thought Sergio was going to get Matthews up out of the way, but we saw what happened there coming to the checkers. Do you feel like we were kind of talking about it throughout the broadcast? Do you feel like everybody's getting more comfortable racing each other? I feel like tonight was probably the best race of the whole series.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone's getting to get more familiar with each other on iRacing. I know a lot of the guys are relatively new to iRacing, so I'm assuming they're getting a lot more comfortable with it, getting used to how it works. The differences between iRacing and real world racing is definitely tough to adapt to right away. I mean, you saw that with the Cup guys when they ran their Pro Invitational series. It took them a few weeks to kind of get it figured out, but once you get used to it, it's pretty fun. It gets pretty competitive, just like real racing. So I think everyone, like you said, everyone's starting to get more familiar with each other, comfortable with each other as well. So hopefully that keeps translating to more cleaner, long green flag run racing in the next few weeks.
Well, I think you're right about that, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Congratulations once again, another podium finish for you. Real quick, do you have anyone you'd like to thank, any shout-outs you'd like to get out there?
Thanks to the Northern Senior Champ Card Series and RPM Motorsports, and also New Smyrna Speedway for broadcasting this on their Facebook, and also Vidane, you guys for broadcasting it for them and putting it on. And it's been a fun thing to be a part of, and hopefully we can break through here in the next few weeks.
Hey, man, thank you very much for being a part of it. Good luck the next few weeks, and maybe we'll talk to you in Victory Lane one of these nights.
Down here with your second place finisher, Jimmy Frazier, the man that really created all of that excitement on the final turn. Jimmy, I was calling it a double bump and run. I don't really know if that was your plan or not, but my goodness, how perfectly executed that was. And how about your recovery too? You had an earlier spin through earlier on in the feature, had to work your way all the way back up through the field, and did so to come home runner-up. Walk us through your race, my man.
Yeah, I started like 9th, 10th or somewhere in there, and I was just kind of riding there trying to save tires, and the 19 got into me, and I guess he said his brake or his foot slipped off the brake or something. So I got an EOL for that and came back up through the field and put myself in a pretty good spot on that restart and made a few people mad. I know the 50 was mad at me, but whenever you're that close to the end, there's really no give.
Oh, for sure. The aggression picks up for without a doubt, and we really saw that. I think overall it was a fantastic race. Lots of awesome racing action. Your drive through the field, extremely impressive. And I want to break down that last turn move there with you. You got into Ryan Borges just a little bit, shoved him up the track. He gets into Anthony Sergi, shoves him up the racetrack, and here you are to sneak on by to finish P2. Going down the backstretch, how were you trying to execute your moves, really just to get around Ryan? I don't even know if you were planning to get around Anthony, but it sure worked.
Yeah, I mean, I just went in the first corner and he checked up a little bit in the center, and I had a lot of speed through the middle, and I pushed him up, and I knew it was going to push him up into the 20. He ended up getting by both of them, so it worked out good, but it could have worked out bad too.
Indeed, it could have. Glad that it all made for a great show, a fantastic finish. Jimmy, of course, things in the real racing world, we know it's a team effort, and really it's the same, even when we're sitting behind our computers doing some iRacing. So if there's anybody that you'd like to shout out, the opportunity is yours. Feel free.
Yeah, I just got to thank my dad. He's basically my pit crew at the racetrack, and Chad Pierce and Sean Bass, they're building me a state-of-the-art truck at the moment, so it should be out in less than a month or so, and Cody Brinson's working on it too, I hear, so I'm real excited to have that. And I want to thank Sunshine State Racing. They do great coverage on all the Florida racing. Whenever I'm at home or whatever and stuck at home, can't go to the racetrack, pretty much know what's going on. They do a great job. And you guys, of course, you guys do a great job at production track.
Those are the words from your runner-up finisher here tonight, Jimmy Frazier. Created so much excitement and action at the end of that race. A great recovery after an earlier issue, and a fantastic point tonight to go along with it, and that number 6 car. So we'll send things now down to victory lane. Ryan Stevens has made his way down there, as he's done so many times here at the new Smyrna Speedway, and a familiar face for the third week in a row. He is with Ryan Matthews.
Oh, hello again there, Ryan. Congratulations. 3 wins in a row, 3 different series. Man, I don't know how you do it, but tonight you definitely had to earn this one. Wild last couple of laps there.
Yeah, we qualified pole, started 8th from the invert. We got up to 3rd on like lap 5 because they were just wrecking in front of us, and we just stayed patient and stayed smart with the moves and got up to 3rd, no incidents. And then the top 2, or we got by 2nd, I believe, and then we made a few moves on the leader, just couldn't get around him. It's so tough to pass here, and then 3rd and 4th caught up to me, and they were kind of pushing me around a little bit about stuffing me into the wall, and so they got by me, and they started racing hard, and then they all wrecked each other, which I kind of saw happening, and that just gave me the lead, and pretty much just ran my line the rest of the race, and then I didn't think. I mean, obviously, with 3 to go, I feel like anyone in second place that has a shot at the leader is gonna do everything they can to get the win. But Anthony hit me in my right rear every corner for the last 3 laps, just trying to get me loose, which I would have done the same if I was in his position. But we were able to keep it. I was able to keep it under me and pull away at the end and get the win.
Yeah, I really thought Sergi was going to get you there in turn number 1, but Sergi's such a good, clean, hard racer, a veteran here at the new Smyrna Speedway. He knows how to pull off a bump and a run without wrecking somebody, and I think that that shows a lot of class and made for a real exciting finish. It's too bad he didn't get the finish he was looking for tonight, but I guess if there's somebody going to beat your back bumper, I'm sure you're glad it was him.
Yeah, well, he had a few words for me after the race, which I'm not gonna take it. I'm just gonna
Okay,
take it
so
with a grain.
maybe I'll take that back. We got a little bit of rivalry heating up there.
Yeah, apparently he thinks Ryan, the 33 car, which I'm racing in points actually,
Yeah.
is helping me win these races. So I'm not too sure what that's about, but I'm not gonna take it harsh or anything. I think he's just a little upset of his fourth place finish when he was in second on the last turn. But it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it. I had a good race with him. He did everything he can, or he could have, but it is what it is.
I guess it doesn't matter if it's at your local short track or here on iRacing, but when it gets down to the end of these things, drivers get aggressive.
Yeah, for sure. Especially that restart. He doored me up the track, got me dead sideways, had to save that. And I was just hanging on for dear life. My spotter Justin Leduc kept me calm all race and just kept me just fed me information all race long. Especially those last 3 laps. He kind of warned me when Anthony was about to hit me, so I'd be prepared for it and could defend the lead.
Well, Ryan, again, congratulations. 3 wins in a row in 3 different series. Pretty incredible streak you're on here. Real quick, do you have anybody that you would like to thank here tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank my dad at S&M Auto Service, Carvin Racing Solutions, Pembleton Forest Products, James River Nurseries, my mom at Denise Matthews Real Estate, Leduc Matthews Racing, Justin Leduc for spotting, like always. And thank you all for putting this on. I really appreciate it. I have a ton of fun running.
Hey, we appreciate you too, man. Congratulations again and have a great night.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank you. All right, that's our winner, Ryan Matthews, 3 in a row, padding that point lead. Of course, you can follow along with the points on VidaneTV's website. And, man, an incredible finish. I guess things are heating up as far as the rivalries go. Man, I'm excited for the next 5 weeks.
For sure, if it's anything like we saw tonight and continues to improve, it's going to be very fun. I think once Anthony has an opportunity to look at the replay and realize that contact from Ryan Borges came from Jimmy Frazier, maybe he'll have a little bit of a different thought. But of course, yeah, you have to assume that he is just upset that he wasn't able to pull off a win, being so close right there at the final turn on the final lap. And not only does he not get the win, he loses 2 spots from where he was running with a quarter of a lap to go. So I know I've been around for the entirety of this series, and maybe my change in role from this week has allowed me to look at the racing with a different eye. But I think this is probably our most exciting and best race that we've had so far with the season. Lots of green flag racing. Of course, we still had some cautions, but short track racing really isn't all that great without some cautions sprinkled in there every now and then. The racing was very good in the top 5. We saw a lot of different drivers be competitive throughout this race. A handful of them had an opportunity to win it. And although Ryan Matthews, it's the same guy that got the win, you would look at the results and just expect it to be another one of those New Smyrna esports races, but it really wasn't. You would have to have watched the tape to really find the true story behind this event.
Yeah, this was an event that Ryan Matthews did not run away with. Early, we saw Cody Brinson leading. Thought maybe he was going to break through tonight. He and Devin got into it. It was a real shame to see that incident because I think those two, through Ryan Matthews, Ryan Borges, Anthony Sergi, we could have a real good 5-way fight for the win in this thing. So I hate to see that incident, but Matthews had to earn this one. He had Sergi, a veteran of this very speedway, on his back bumper. I guess things got heated. I thought it was great, hard racing, to be honest with you. But things get heated just like they do on Saturday nights here at New Smyrna Speedway. So just a great event. If you've missed any of these events, if you want to get caught up, you can subscribe to VidaneTV on YouTube. Go back through the history, watch these events, subscribe so you know and can watch all the great races that Vidane produces. You guys were even on Speed 51 yesterday, so congratulations for that. You guys are doing a great job. And we're seeing it again. That crazy finish for second just really piqued the adrenaline here tonight. And I'm gonna have to take a few minutes here and calm down before I can go to bed.
Yeah, Kyle alluded to it, man. That 5 wide finish there for second. We're looking at it in super duper ultra mega slow motion. I'm still speechless. That is an amazing finish. We had a really really good race. A little bit of calamity in the front portion of the race, but man, oh man, what a finish! And we see Ryan Matthews, the points leader, coming home with the victory. Now we don't have points updated just yet. I know Rowdy Wesley Hogue is working on them. He did have to tend to a couple of other on racing related things. So he's working on that right now. Be able to check
Yeah,
out.
I feel like Wes might have a story or two for us next week.
He may definitely have a story, and I can probably tell you he definitely will have a story for us, knowing Wes. But man, what a great finish! I still can't believe that 5 wide for second. That is absolutely amazing. These guys are really starting to get comfortable with each other, and the racing is just going to get better and better as this World Series continues. But do want to take a quick look here at the upcoming events. Man, we got a jam-packed schedule. You saw the post on Facebook earlier this evening, actually late afternoon as it were. Pardon me. We've got 30 days in the month of June, and on 21 of those days, we've got live racing broadcasts coming to you here at VidaneTV. That's not even including the stuff that's rounding out the month of March, and as Ryan said a few moments ago, we were able to produce a show for Speed 51 last night. Very excited about that. The ROC, the Race of Champions. That was very, very cool. It was a triple header, triple feature event. So definitely go over to speed51.com or their Facebook page and take a look at that replay. We didn't really know all the details, so we couldn't really advertise it too much, and a lot of red tape around that one too. But pretty cool little deal. We were able to get Rowdy Wesley Hogue up in the booth last night for that event, and very, very cool to check that out. But the action's not done yet. As you look on your screen, what do you see there? Consecutive numbers. May 21st, that's tomorrow. The very first New England, Pennsylvania iRock Series event. That's going to be starting at 8:15 tomorrow. The graphic is incorrect. It's going to be an 8:15 start. They're going to be running the super late models at Daytona International Speedway. Very even field, fixed setups, and we actually threw we've been seeing those guys run the ARCA National cars here on Thursday nights here on VidaneTV, and we actually squeaked in a little bit of a super speedway ringer. The Rent-A-Race Car, the Vidane Rent-A-Race Car Super Speedway Series champion, Jarrett Bolliard, is taking his gorgeous wrestling championship belt, which hopefully will come in the mail tomorrow. It was supposed to be there Monday. I don't know why it's not there yet. A lot of stuff going on with COVID. He's going to be running that event tomorrow night. Going to be cool to see what a super speedway ringer can do with a lot of short track racers. So looking forward to that. Friday night and Saturday night, Tim's Corner Motorsports returns to us with a pair of special events. And then Sunday night, you see it there on your screen, Primetime East Coast Winter League SK Modifieds at Stafford Motor Speedway. Those guys have been putting on a fantastic show all season long. It's going to be race 9 of 12, starting to wind down that championship there. And then Monday night, we're back with the Florida Pro Truck Series Challenge. And those guys are going to be running at 8 o'clock. I believe we are at Five Flag Speedways on Monday, so that's going to be very exciting. And those races have been pretty fantastic as well over the past couple of weeks. But I think at this point, I do, again, want to thank everybody that's out there watching on both YouTube and Facebook. Do all the social media mumbo-jumbo, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It really helps us out. It lets us know where everybody lies, and man, it seems like we got a lot of loyal fans here at VidaneTV because the numbers keep going up. We keep getting messages. We keep getting high fives and kudos all the way around. So one of the coolest things I was able to see tonight, there's a lot of fans out there. They've got VidaneTV queued up on the laptop and the tablet, sitting there on the couch watching it with the NASCAR race in the background. And I got to tell you, everybody, for myself and everybody here at VidaneTV, that really tugs on the heartstrings. That's pretty darn cool. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for joining us here for tonight. For the voice of New Smyrna Speedway, Ryan Stevens. For Kyle Boom Boom Young, and for the race administrators, Rowdy Wesley Hogue, Jarrett Bolliard, and myself, Paul Showtime Strickland Jr. Thank you again so much for coming out. We're excuse me, we're going to be back out here live tomorrow with the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Series, doing a little bit of iRock racing, super late models at Daytona. Do not miss it because we're going to be here. We're going to be doing it live. Thanks again for coming out. Have a great night.